Alrighty, so off the bat, I want to say, always with these kind of like request esque, or request videos about the astrology charts. I don't believe that the snapshot of the chart of just like when you're born, the birth time is just who you are. But I think the chart that's created by that can be like a tool for you to learn about like how it works. But okay, in this case, this is going to be for an ENTP Scorpio rising that had a question specifically about how you would use your NI in Virgo as an ENTP Scorpio rising, as opposed to how it would normally be in Leo with like a whole sign chart. And that is, again, I usually like to go by the whole whole sign, evenly distributed chart. But from the perspective of this, the picture it paints in this case is that, let's try to find a good spot with this wind happening. Okay, sure, why not? So normally it would be Leo NI in regards to you seeing, either way for an ENTP and ENFP, they're going to be using their NI to be able to look into the different perspectives regarding the 10th house's status, so they can kind of see where people are going to kind of end up as far as their position in the world. If it was Leo, it would be in terms of like how that person's going to end up expressing themselves. And in Virgo, it's going to be kind of you having the ability to kind of see into people's schedule and how other people's routines, how they're going to come into interacting with each other. And in this case, I remember you saying that you had a like really heavy, like a lot of stuff in Libra in the 12th, or that house was very consuming, like it took up a lot of space, or there's like a bunch of signs in it or something. So in this case, you're going to be, you already as a Scorpio rising are going to be more geared towards creating that peace. And, for an ENTP with the Libra, you're going to have Libra FI. And for another example of someone with Libra FI, I would look at the Geek Psychology channel, because his first house is going to be Libra FI, because he's an he's an INFP Libra rising. So that's how that would go. And so quick rundown real fast of like how an ENTP Scorpio rising would be. So you're gonna have Scorpio NE, because the first house is going to be Scorpio, and that's going to relate to your first function. And your second function is going to be introverted thinking, and in this case it's going to be, if it was evenly an equal house system, if it was evenly distributed, which is the way I'd like to look at it, then you would have your Virgo would be there, and you'd have Virgo TI. Your FE would be Capricorn. And I may have to like delete another video to make the space to really cover all the stuff. But yeah, so and then your fourth house, the Capricorn FE would be the third house, like the stuff you do on a whim. And the fourth house would be Aquarius with introverted sensing there. And I guess if you're using the unequal houses, you could apply wherever the signs actually are for you, but I really, I just don't agree with it personally. But if you do, then, the first function is the first house, the second function is the 11th house, the third function is the third house, and the fourth function is the fourth house. Now, the shadow functions, which NI is one of those in this case, it would be the fifth function is the 10th house, which would be, in regards to that would be the case. And then TE would be the 8th house or the 6th function, like the demonstrative, or like critical parent as it's called sometimes. 7th would be the 12th house, your path of least resistance, which is also, I believe, like some people say it's like your higher self, but I think it's like the real you, and the first house is like who you're coming off as in the world. Like your first impression, but really what's behind that is what you're doing with the 12th house. So I see that as the real, who you really are. And then, but maybe that's biased towards me being a 12th house person. But, yeah, so then, as a whole, the picture kind of just with the conscious functions there. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm sorry. And the 8th function would be the 7th house. So looking at it from an equal house system viewpoint, it would be, Aquarius, introverted sensing, Leo, introverted intuition. But, from your perspective, it would be Virgo would be there. Or, from looking at it as just as far as what the chart says. And then, so then you'd have Gemini, extroverted thinking, introverted feeling would be your 12th house, and I believe like ENTPs and ESTPs are actually the real introverted feelers, because when you're getting that impulse to take an action in the world, it's really coming from you having control over the feeling and not letting, that pass you by, and like always staying true to that. And then that's what causes the, all the different challenges that the life presents you with, of things to brainstorm about, because you're trying to, make the right, make your decision you're making with your introverted feeling, come about, and then, life gives you these challenges to be able to bring those in. And then, so then the Capricorn FE is kind of like, before that, the Scorpio NE is all the possibilities of like how things could be gone into more depth, and, the secrets behind things. The introverted thinking would be, from my point of view, that Virgo, so you'd kind of, with your friends, do a lot of like detailed work. The Capricorn extroverted feeling would be, you getting everyone kind of on the same page, feeling correctly about like completing and getting on the same page with the project. About to go to the next part.